former Raiders and former Buccaneers coach John Gruden. I've been making my way through the Aaron Rodgers unauthorized biography by Ian O'Connor, and I have two general issues with biographies and autobiographies. Now, sometimes there's a lot of robust, intriguing, unknown details about how the person became who the person is.
Right.
When it's a great quarterback and when we follow the sport like every waking moment, we kind of already know the story. And for an unauthorized biography that doesn't have anything more than a couple of hours of a meeting between the author and Rodgers, you lose a lot of the details. So a lot of the stuff, and I don't mean this to be critical, this is just realistic, a lot of the stuff in the first 100 pages of the Aaron Rodgers unauthorized biography is kind of book reportish. Like, great research, great detail, but there's something missing. Aaron Rodgers' voice is missing from it. It's pieced together, and it's kind of stuff we already knew. But it really takes off in the chapter that focuses on his battle with Alex Smith to be the first overall pick in the 2005 draft and his plummet down the draft board.
Right.
And along the way, he had a workout at Cal with your guy Gruden.
Right.
Which included an unexpected cameo appearance by Jerry Rice, to whom Aaron Rodgers was told, hey, go throw him some passes, and Rodgers crapped his pants, not literally as far as I know. But Gruden told him at some point before the draft, if you're there at 5, I'm taking you. And that struck me as particularly intriguing because QB1 at the time for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was a certain Christopher David Simms.
Yeah, seriously. That was, you're right. And that's the 2005 draft, right? So, yes. I'm not the starter yet at that point.
You became that year.
That year.
Who was?
Right.
Who was?
That was actually going into that year was Brian Greasy. I had become the starter the year before and hurt my shoulder and had to sit out like the last, maybe 8 out of the last 9 games, maybe 7 of the last 8, something like that. And Greasy played during that time, and they started him to start the next year. And then he got hurt, and I took over. But, yeah, I remember that. I remember them. I also, remember him being in love with Alex Smith too, right? So there was definitely angst in my body going into that draft that year going, man, maybe we're going to draft a quarterback here. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do remember those times for sure.
There's a lot of great details in that chapter about how the slide happened, when they knew it was coming. When he showed up for the draft, he knew
he was in trouble.
It was coming.
Right.
They were furiously working the phones trying to find somebody who would pick him. It was midnight Friday morning, one day before the draft, that Bruce Allen, then the GM of the Buccaneers, told Rodgers' agent Mike Sullivan that we're not taking your guy. So it wasn't like he found out on the clock.
Right.
And Gil Brandt, the late Gil Brandt, the Hall of Fame scout with the Cowboys, who was the one at the time who decided who got invited to the draft. There were only 6 guys invited that year. That was Alex Smith, Braylon Edwards, Ronnie Brown, Cadillac Williams.
Yeah, we drafted Cadillac.
Cedric Benson.
Right, yep.
Brandt was convinced he was going earlier. He wouldn't have invited him. And then Brandt, working the phones, he's apologizing to Rodgers for inviting him. Because, this is going to be a long day. This is going to be a long day. I can't find anybody. And at one point, he called John Dorsey, who was working for the Packers at the time, and he said, if this guy's there at 24, you've got to take him. And he said, I think we will. And even that was a big to-do.
Right.
They booed so loudly. They were having a fan event at Lambeau Field. They booed so loudly it was shaking the room upstairs where the front office was after they had just made the pick.
That made it feel good.
So if you're reading the book, don't give up. Get through Pleasant Valley Vikings, get through Butte Community College, get through the recruitment to Berkeley and playing at Cal, get through all that. It pays off when you get to that chapter about that, because there's a lot there I didn't know. A lot of behind-the-scenes stuff about what was going on, and he knew it was going to happen. Didn't make it any easier, but he knew it was going to happen. And it was so bad, the 49ers were thinking about taking him in round 2. Saying, let's just bring both of them in and let them fight it out.
Right, yeah, can you imagine? That's incredible. It really is. It's incredible. It's hey, the arguably the two greatest quarterbacks of our generation, right? I know Peyton Manning's in that convo too, but Brady, of course, and Aaron Rodgers both slid. We know Brady slid even bigger, but yeah, to be that great and for everybody to miss out or miss the chance of the opportunity is always fascinating.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.